Did I say I wish I had a bullet big enough to fucking kill the sun? Well, I wasn't kidding, because this summer has been unrelenting. I was complaining in that video about various circumstantial matters, such as the fact that everyone gets insane in the summertime. Everyone starts acting amok with criminal intent at the very least. But now, as I've come to find, even the government wants a piece of me, as if they already didn't. But in particular, the part of the government that up until now seemed to have liked me wants a piece of me. They turned my NEET bucks off. They turned it off. My money that has been up to now for the last 4 years has been keeping me alive, keeping me afloat, allowing me to exist in a world where I experience flashbacks on a daily basis, multiple times a day, flashbacks to violent physical and sexual assault, flashbacks to various forms of abuse, literally multiple times a day. I experience these in a vivid manner, and it is debilitating for me. It causes me to have difficulty thinking straight, having any motivation, being able to get back to the task that I was doing after it has been interrupted by this mental anguish. It makes it difficult for me to even get out of bed and feed myself when this occurs. And that's not to mention the periods that I enter where I'm hearing things that aren't there, seeing things that aren't there, and having paranoia to go along with it. This, as I'm sure you'd be able to imagine, also causes psychosocial dysfunction. This also makes it difficult for me to operate, for me to attend to the daily duties required of a person in the workplace. But that's just one area that these symptoms interfere in my life. These symptoms also interfere with my ability to feed and clothe myself and transport myself from point A to point B responsibly, safely. And so, of course, you can see the problem here. The problem here is that I am literally disabled. That's not even to say anything of the fact that I find it exceedingly difficult to interact with strangers, to go outside and talk to people, the kinds of skills that you need to have in order to not just work a job, but get your foot in the door in the first place. You know, if you can't even get your foot in the door through the interview process, how the hell are you going to work there where you may be talking to people every day? If your anxiety is so debilitating that you're shaking and feeling scared and finding it difficult to find the words when you encounter someone, believing that they may have some kind of violent intent when you encounter someone. I mean, these are all factors that make it extremely difficult to function in a world that requires us to interact with others. And that's just part of the problem here. That's not even to say anything of anhedonia and difficulty with motivation. That's not even to say anything of difficulty with sleep, which I've struggled with my whole life. But here's the thing. I knew the government was going to do this because they've been doing this to me for the last 4 years. They kick me off of disability. I display evidence from my doctors and mental hospital visits that would indicate that I'm disabled. They keep me on for a while, and then they kick me off of it again. They've been doing this to me over and over and over again for the last 4 years. And that's just the reality of the situation. And I can either look at that and think, man, oh man, isn't this so bad for me? I got all these symptoms, I got all these problems, and the government's doing this to me. I can look at it and I can think that way. Or what I can do is say, this was a bad hand I've been dealt, but I've got people in my life that care about me. People in my life that want to see me succeed in spite of this raft of nonsense headed toward me, and I can look at those people and say, I'm going to deliver for you. And also me, but also you. And I can look at my problems and take a slow start and find maybe a part-time job at a place that demands less of me than the last job that I had, and I can be working and ease my way into it, while also addressing these broader mental health problems as I've been seeking to address for the last several years. Since I was like 14, 15, going to psychiatrists and whatnot, I've been trying to address these problems. And so I have to look at myself in the mirror here and say, like, look, you're 21 years old, you're on disability, you're arguably disabled. I don't think very many people would disagree with that. But what do you want to make of yourself? Do you want to see the people who love and care for you just disappear from your life one day because you're not making an effort, because you're not trying? Do you want to see the world just go on by like that? Just time pass on by like that without any input from you? It's like, I have the ability to make a change in my life. I have the ability to take my 2 feet and put one in front of the other and move forward. And I can either choose to do that step by step, or I can choose to just sit here and feel sorry for myself because, the government was mean to me or something. I think the answer is pretty clear. I've been dealt a bad hand here, but I also have opportunities that many other people don't have. I have people who care about me, people willing to share their resources with me while I'm in this time trying to get work, trying to make something better of myself. And that counts for something. Like, sure, I'm going to be facing issues from these problems that I have while I'm in that environment, but that doesn't mean that I can't try. I also have been trying, regardless of these circumstances. Like, I've been looking for jobs while on disability this whole time. Like, this whole time I've been trying to get work, and for the most part failing to. Although I have gotten some jobs, and then abruptly had to leave them because I was experiencing psychosis or psychosocial dysfunction related to other emotional or mental disorders I have, or just autism. But I think it was the type of work that I was doing in combination with the amount of hours that I was working, and also the environment that I was coming back to. I don't think I had enough physical and emotional support coming home. I think the job that I was working was just completely untenable given the way that it would demand so many hours of me, someone who had just started working. Very physical labor as well. I wasn't getting good enough sleep at the time, which I sort of know how to ameliorate now. There were just a whole host of problems associated with my last attempts at working. I also was not getting the adequate mental health support while I was trying to work these jobs. I think that was another huge component to this. And I think something important to keep in mind here is, we fail sometimes. We try our hand at something, we fail, and we might even fail a lot of times, but that doesn't give you a reason to sit there and mope and feel sorry for yourself and not take a crack at it again and try to succeed this time. What I have to do is identify what was wrong with my approach up to that point, and then recognize what was going wrong there and address those things so I can try my hand at it again and see what works this time, maybe see what doesn't, and then keep on going from there. Like, life is going to keep going on. Either it's going to go on right past me or I'm going to go along with it. And that's a decision of the will that I have to make. That's a decision that I have to make through structures that I put in place in my own life. Getting access to support groups, going out, taking the initiative with jobs, getting the mental health support that I need. And I have people who want to help me with that. And so, am I going to see getting kicked off of disability as this horrible thing? I mean, it's been helping me while I've been looking for work, that's for damn sure. But now, I gotta take those lemons and I gotta turn them into lemonade. I'm sorry for using so many analogies and all this kind of stuff throughout this video, but it's the only way I can really describe this hand that's been dealt to me. There's a lot more precedent to get work now. There's a lot more pressure to do so, but it's just something I have to do. And sometimes that's just how the world is. The world, it can make things more difficult, it can make things less difficult, but the reality is, I have people I can depend on, I have people I care about, I have people I love, I have people who are willing to help me here. and I can either be grateful for that stuff and deliver for those individuals, or I can squander it, I can be ungrateful, and in the process, over time, push everybody away like that. That doesn't mean I can't have some failures here and there, but what matters is taking the initiative, recognizing the mistakes, and being proactive in my own life. That's what I need to do. Fundamentally speaking, that is what I need to do. Because I know for a fact that I do not want to be someone for the rest of my life who is on welfare, on disability, and is struggling with the mental health problems that I have that make it such that I need to be on disability. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a productive member of society, which also entails a number of other things, like I do not want to be at these minimum wage, shitty jobs forever, the kind that I've been working. I don't want to do that forever, but that means working for long enough that I can eventually go to school and find out, what do I like doing? What is fulfilling for me? I didn't have what so many other people have, where they are going to school every single day, with the exclusion of the weekends. I don't know why I said every single day. But they're going to school consistently, and their parents actually push them to do that and try to get them to have academic achievement. I didn't have that kind of proactive parenting, and I ended up just falling through the cracks, and so I didn't even complete high school, but on top of that, there were no financial resources for me to go beyond that and then go off into school and find out what I wanted to do, higher education. I didn't have access to any of that, but I can see a path forward. I have resources in front of me. All I have to do is work. I just have to work for it. And if I work for it, and if I make sure that I have a place to live, that I'm spending my money the right way, that I'm looking forward to the future, and just continuing at it, I can get to a point where I can go to school, and where I can get to some kind of better life for myself, doing something that I really want to do, truly contributing to society, not just doing this minimum wage nonsense. I can get to that point. I know I can get to that point. There's no reason why I can't when so many other people can. I just have to do it. And this is pretty scary, what's happening to me right now with this disability, but you gotta take these scary things as opportunities. And I have people willing to support me, so I gotta take it as an opportunity. Not as an opportunity to feel sorry for myself, but as an opportunity to actually excel and be a better human being.